Hello there again, it's me Kevin, and in this video we are going to learn how to get the x and y-intercept of a rational function. So intercepts are points where the graph intersects the axis. So we have here two, the x-intercept and the y-intercept. X-intercept is the value of x at y equals 0. X-intercept is the point where the graph passes through the x-axis. So ito po ang ating x-intercept. And y-intercept, on the other hand, is the value of y at x equals 0. And that is the point where the graph passes through the y-axis. So ito ang ating y-intercept. So points ang mga to. So if we are going to find the x and y-intercept of a rational function, we should write them in ordered pair form since they are points along the x and y axis. In number 1, for us to get the intercepts, we first rewrite f of x to y. To get the x-intercept, we set y equals 0 and we solve for x. After setting y to 0, we cross multiply, and if we are going to multiply 0 to the whole expression here, magiging 0 yan. So 0 is equal to x plus 4. And so if we are going to solve for x, the result here is negative 4. To write this in ordered pair form, x is negative 4. And since y is 0, we are going to write 0 here. For us to find the y-intercept, we set x to 0. So lahat ng x palitan ng 0. And then we solve for y. So our y-intercept is negative 2/3. So if we are going to write this in ordered pair form, since x is 0, 0 yan, our y will be negative 2/3. So what is our conclusion here? The graph will pass through these points along the axis. So kung ipla-plot natin ang mga yan, so dadaan ang graph natin sa point na to, as well as in this point. Let's go to the next example. Okay, so number 2, before we get the intercept, we rewrite f of x to y. Okay, to get the x-intercept, you set y equals 0 and solve for x. But if you're going to cross multiply, the result will be like this. And obviously, this is a false statement. So walang na-solve na x dyan. And so we can say that there is no x-intercept, meaning the graph will not cross the x-axis. For us to get the y-intercept, we set x to 0 and solve for y. But here, if we are going to set x to 0, magiging undefined to. We can conclude na yung function na to ay walang y-intercept. Why? Kasi you cannot plot this in the Cartesian plane. That is the undefined expression. Okay, for number 3, same process. We set y to 0 and solve for x. But here, if you're going to cross multiply, magiging 0 yan. And so matitira na lang is yung 2x squared. Obviously, if we are going to divide both sides by 2, matitira si x squared, matitira sa kabila si 0. And so to solve for x, you have to extract that, and ang lalabas na sagot is 0. So the x-intercept is 0, and that is the origin, that is the point of origin. To get a y-intercept, we just did the same process, but we are going to change x to 0. We simplify, and so y is 0. So yung y-intercept natin is 0 as well. Okay, so parehas ang x and y-intercept, the graph will pass through the origin. So ganun lang po kadali ang pagkuha ng x and y-intercept.